Welcome, everybody. This is the DVMUG Zoom meeting for July 8th, 2025. Today, I have one piece of news and a whole bunch of videos, as you can see. But don't panic. Half of them are from Apple, so they're like 1 or 2 minutes. So those are near the end. If we don't get to them all, that's okay too. We'll just save them for another time, depending on how much comments we have about the videos. Okay. One news item. Oh, come on, go forward, please. It's Prime Day. There's been Prime deals leading up to Prime Day, and now it's Prime Day for 3 days or something. And there's even better deals. And there's a link to Apple Insider that has a list of all the Apple stuff. If you want to, hey Kenji, can you go get the news and the videos off the BBS, or I put them in the chat? I forgot.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And so. Yeah, there's the base iPad that Apple sells for $349 has been on sale for a long time in Amazon for $299. It's 20 bucks more, so it's $279. So I bought one this morning, and they shipped it, and it's down at the locker already. Came in 2 hours. Also the AirPods I noticed have been varying in price, 169, 189 on and off for quite a while now. I think today they dropped to 140, 100 bucks off, I think, 149 if I'm right. That's a good deal if you're ever thinking about getting those. That's as cheap as they were ever going to get. Plus lots of other stuff. Almost everything except iPhones. There's no good deals on iPhone. They don't do Prime Day iPhones. Okay, Kenji's going to put those in the chat, and that link to that Apple Insider article will be in that news link. And so any comments or questions about that? Anybody buy stuff on Prime Day deals? I've been waiting for stuff. I mean, not just Apple stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. If you're a Prime member, you should be been getting emails for weeks about this.
I was looking and I saw, I'm trying to get my the Mac Mini, and I want the base, and I couldn't find anything that was they have renewed devices, but for 512 and 16 gigabit
Yeah, Amazon
gigabytes.
there's an Apple store on Amazon where Apple sells refurb stuff, and it's cheap. It's cheaper than the Apple website. And they have Amazon renewed also, which have varying degrees of how much warranty they have, not as much as the Apple ones
Well,
that are
thanks.
refurb. They also have different qualities of the refurb, so how many scratches and dents the Apple refurbs have no dents, no scratches. They put a new screen and a new battery in it, and it looks like new, and they warranty it like new. The Amazon ones is okay, we want the good one. They have choices. You want the excellent, no dings and scratches. Some scratches is good or fair, got dents in it or something, still functional. The batteries are usually guaranteed to 80%. They don't put new batteries in them.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, no more comments about that. We'll move on to a video. These are the videos. You can see they're mostly pretty short, and a lot of them from Apple. Only one from Gary. So we'll move forward. This is the first one from Apple. How to create an Apple account if you don't already have one, which most of you probably already do, and realize that your Apple ID, as of a little while ago, got renamed your Apple account. So a new name, same thing. There we go.
When you create an Apple account on any of your devices, you can access everything Apple on all your devices, from purchases to services to iCloud and more. Here's how. We'll show you how to create an Apple account during setup of your iPhone, iPad, or Apple Vision Pro. How to create one in Settings on your Mac. How to create one using the App Store on your iPhone, iPad, or Apple Vision Pro. And how to create one on the web. First, we'll show you how to create an Apple account during setup of your iPhone, iPad, or Apple Vision Pro. Follow the prompts to begin setting up your device. When you reach the Apple account sign-in screen, tap Forgot Password or Don't Have an Account, and tap Create a Free Apple Account. Enter your name and birthday, and tap Continue. Next, you can use an existing email address as long as you have access to it. Or you can create a free iCloud email address. We're going to create one. Tap Don't Have an Email Address, and then tap Get an iCloud Email Address. In the email field, enter the new email address you want to use for your Apple account, and then tap Continue and follow the prompts to finish setting it up. You can also create an Apple account in Settings on your Mac. Before you start, it's a good idea to make sure your Mac is updated to the latest version of Mac OS. In the sidebar of System Settings, click Sign in with your Apple account, and click Don't Have an Account. Enter your birthday, then click Next, and enter your name. You can use an existing email address as long as you have access to it, or you can create a free iCloud email address. Let's create one. Click Get a Free iCloud Email Address, and enter the new email address you want to use for your Apple account. Enter a strong password, and enter it again to confirm. Then click Next and follow the prompts to finish setting up your Apple account. If you've already set up your iPhone, iPad, or Apple Vision Pro, you can create an Apple account using the App Store. Before you start, it's a good idea to make sure your device is updated to the latest operating system, and you'll need an existing email address that you have access to. Tap the Account button in the upper right corner of the App Store. Then tap Create New Apple Account and follow the prompts to finish setting it up. No matter what device you use, even if it's not an Apple device, you can create a new Apple account on the web. Before you start, it's a good idea to make sure your device is updated to the latest operating system. And you'll need an existing email address that you have access to. Go to account.apple.com. Click Create Your Apple Account and follow the prompts to finish setting it up. Now you know how to create your own Apple account so you can access everything Apple everywhere.
Okay, mainly I think what they just redid that video to change the name of Apple ID everywhere in there to Apple account, and all the screenshots and everything got updated. Comments, questions? Does anybody not have an Apple account at this point? I've seen people who don't want one for some reason, but it's hard to use your Apple stuff unless you have one anymore.
Well, if you don't have an account, you can't update anything.
Right, you can't go to the App Store and do software updates and all that stuff.
You can't use iCloud.
Right. Okay, let's move on to another one. Well, this one's interesting. I saw this a while ago. I set it up and I never paid attention to it. I think it's on my phone, but it's never warned me that I'm wobbling or I'm walking, but you can.
I thought it's just a part of the health app.
You have to turn it on, I think. You have to enable it. Watch.
Hello, everyone. Today we're exploring a fantastic feature on your iPhone that helps track your balance and gives helpful notifications if there's a fall risk. Walking Steadiness, introduced in iOS 15, uses your iPhone's motion sensors to monitor your balance, speed, step pace, and gait over time. After a full day of walking, it classifies your steadiness as okay, low, or very low. A simple way to check your stability. If we haven't met, I'm Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS, where I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. If you find the video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Why should you use Walking Steadiness? Well, it detects early signs of unsteadiness, it helps prevent fall-related injuries, and it tracks mobility trends over time. This feature is especially helpful as we age or if we're recovering from illness. It gives alerts and easy-to-read data to help keep you safe and steady. Let's take a look at how to set this up. You're going to locate and open the Health app. It's a white icon with a heart. So you're going to tap that to open it. Make sure that you're on Browse in the lower right-hand corner, and then go ahead and tap on Mobility. Now locate Walking Steadiness, tap Setup, tap Next. You may need to enter your age, your height, and your weight. Go ahead and tap Next, and then toggle Turn on Notifications. Once it's set up, just carry your iPhone while walking at waist height, like in a pocket or a purse. There's no need to open an app or start anything manually. It automatically runs in the background. If your steadiness drops to low or very low, your iPhone will send a gentle notification. If you want to check in on your walking steadiness to see how you're doing, we'll go ahead again and open the Health app, locate Mobility, make sure you're on Browse to do that, locate Mobility, and then scroll down until you see Walking Steadiness. Once you locate that, you'll see a graph appears, and it's done in like weeks and then months, 6 months to a year. And so you're able to track over time how your walking steadiness is. You can go back and see it over the year and see how you've done. You can also scroll down and you'll find a little bit about walking steadiness and how it's configured. And then if you go down even further, you'll find things that understanding what it's about, exercises that may improve walking steadiness. If you have an Apple Watch, you can use the Fitness Plus suggestions to do exercises for walking steadiness. And then below that, you'll even find other apps that will help with walking steadiness. And that's it. Walking Steadiness is a powerful no-fuss tool to help you keep your balance and reduce the risk of falls. Try it for a week and share how it feels. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And let me know your experience with walking steadiness in the comments below. Stay steady, stay safe. Thanks so much.
That's interesting. I've had mine on for a couple of years and I've never looked at it. And I just noticed when I had pneumonia back in February, I had a big dip in my steadiness and then it got better progressively for a month, and now I'm back up to normal. Isn't that weird? Otherwise, it's been steady, except way back when I turned it on in 2022, I had a dip. I don't know what that was about. Comments, questions? No, there's no reason not to turn that on.
Well, I'm going to turn it on.
And if it goes low, suppose it gives you, it says I got an alert back in 2022. I don't remember that. Let's see if it goes down to not good to low, it alerts you that you're getting, unsteady.
I know what that means, but I'm turning it on. I ought to keep track of myself.
Bill, you should be able to unmute. I just sent you an unmute request.
What did Mike just texted me? What did you text me?
Yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Hold on. Ready to go? Any more comments, questions
Yeah,
about
Jen
this
has
one?
her hand up.
Okay, I can't see her.
She's
Go ahead,
there.
Jan.
Can you unmute, Jen?
Jan.
Oh, you know what? It was set so people couldn't unmute themselves. You can unmute yourself now. Sorry about that. I don't know.
Thank you.
There we
Thank you.
go.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
that
bet
happened.
I couldn't unmute.
That's
It's the
frustrating.
admin.
Okay, there was something locked about the mute. Mike just texted me.
Yeah,
Somehow that's changed and you couldn't.
it's fixed now. Go ahead, Jen.
Okay.
Oh, didn't she mention something about a place to check for alerts? I don't see that on mine.
I don't see it either. Where is it?
I did see in mine that I got an alert one time in
Yeah,
health.
but where do you turn on the alerts?
I saw that in health under walking steadiness.
Didn't she say something about notifications or something? Not necessarily alert.
Yeah, I saw something about turning it on.
I'm not finding it now.
It's in mobility.
Is that in the health app?
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
health app, mobility
I don't see
and steadiness,
Here it is. Okay,
walking
so-
steadiness.
Yeah, walking
Where
steadiness,
is
and then it
mobility?
says
There's a checkpoint for turning it on.
Yeah, but for notification of if you're, not in the OK department.
it shows me that I had one notification back in 2022, 3 years ago, but I don't see how to turn the notifications off or on.
Hmm. So what is this? So I do that.
Oh, it says no data. No, mine says there's a place walking steady and has the notifications, but it says no data available.
That's because it has to gather
It's
some
been
data.
walking.
But it's
Yeah, but
it's been collecting it.
I say you just turned it on and you're sitting down. I don't know what data it could collect.
Well, not at this moment, but
Keep
we'll see.
going down to the very bottom of that page. The very
Right.
bottom, it says walking steady notifications. On
Oh,
or
and
off.
that's,
You
oh,
keep
and
on
mine
going
is-
under the options.
Thank you. It's on already. Okay.
Wait, you
Say
guys got me
again, Jane.
lost.
Not finding it.
Jane, say that again, please.
Okay, we're looking at about walking steadiness notifications. Then go to the very bottom of that page and it's options, pin summary, data source and access, walking steadiness and notifications. It's on the page, the top of the page is where it says walking steadiness notifications. And then Jan said no data. You keep going down to the bottom of that page, all the way down.
I don't see that.
I don't.
No.
I
On
don't see it.
mobility, I see a bunch of data.
Yeah, I see mobility today, past 7 days, 12 days, no
Yeah.
data.
No, this is under, let me go back.
It's under mobility.
It's
Yeah.
mobility, and then it's under the walking, which I just lost now.
Walking is symmetry.
Walking steadiness
walking
Walking
steadiness,
steadiness.
notifications.
Steadiness.
Go to
It's
that
my point.
page. And then
Oh, it says
walking
okay.
steadiness notifications, and at the very, very bottom, it has options. Pin to summary, data sources, and walking steadiness notifications where you turn it on or off.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Oh, okay. The bottom.
Okay, I see.
Right.
I see.
No data.
Yeah.
Keep going to the bottom.
Yeah,
Wonder if I do.
so it's interesting. They also have walking
Unavailable.
asymmetry as a separate metric from walking steadiness.
And
Huh.
I've used that one.
Walking notifications are off. Oh, okay. You can turn it on.
How do you get to mobility?
Health notification settings.
Open your health
It's
app.
health browse.
Yeah, it's on the browse.
Go to health, and then the bottom right corner is browse. And then you'll see a bunch of categories and you'll see mobility.
Where do you see health browse?
In the
Browse is
health
that
app, at the bottom right corner, right there, it says there's a browse button.
Oh, okay.
4 little squares.
Right. Activity, body measurement, cycle tracking, hearing,
Right.
heart, medications, mobility. Thank you.
The list is in alphabetical order for your convenience.
You're assuming we know the alphabet, but okay.
So when you go under walking steadiness, what do you people what do you see? Mine says okay.
Mine's
that mean
mostly
okay?
okay. I've gotten two notifications ever.
Yeah,
3.
I got one.
This is a test.
It has to go to well, you can turn it on to notify you, I think.
Yeah.
I don't see where that is, though.
Yeah, it's in there. I saw it.
Are you on that page, on the mobility page, Bill?
I'm looking at Walking Steadiness, the 6-month
It-
mark on it, and it
it's-
never sent me anything. And there were times where it was low or very low in 2022.
You probably have notifications turned off.
I had what turned off?
Notifications. That's what it tells me. I don't have my notifications turned on.
And where do I go turn on that notification?
It's at the
System settings.
No, it's not in system settings. It's in the health app. Are you on the walking steadiness page?
Yes.
Scroll all the way. It's below those articles. It's at the very bottom.
yeah. From the bottom, it'll tell you
But
what to do.
It says the notifications are on.
Okay, so you have it. So
You have to have health notifications turned on in system settings.
okay.
Oh,
Oh.
so many places to go.
Well,
This
maybe
is too
you died and you
complicated.
didn't even know about it. Ha ha. Just kidding, Bill.
Health notifications, banners, and badges. It's turned on. Never sent me.
Oh, mine's off too. Turn it on.
You at the bottom, John?
In settings under notifications to health, you have to turn on notifications there.
So I thought it was the watch that tracks these metrics rather than the phone.
I don't have a watch. No, this is your phone as well. Maybe your watch does
Yeah,
it
she
too.
said just keep it waist high.
Right.
Put it in your pocket or your purse.
I find it suspect myself.
The phone has motion sensors in it, so it would make sense.
Yeah.
I sometimes walk with my phone in my hand because I'm usually
I would think in your pocket would be better than on your wrist, because then you get your, like you said, your gait and your step and your rhythm and stuff. With your watch, you'll be swinging your arms. That's not really walking. It's something different.
Under the health notifications in settings, you have allow notifications, and then I also have time-sensitive notifications, which it delivers immediately. So I don't know if you have that on or not.
Oh. So this thing has been keeping track of me since the beginning. Since the guy got the phone.
If you turned it on, I don't think it's on by default.
Or at least since the latest update, yeah.
Yeah, since it came out in iOS 15.
I'm in 2022 right now.
Yeah, well, I turned it on when it first came out. because when I heard about it, and so that was when 2022 when it started
Only
tracking.
one.
I find it suspect. I've fallen twice because I had a stroke, so I know I'm not, I'm not going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee anymore or anything. But I've fallen twice, and I never got a notice.
It's not, I don't think it's about falling. This is about walking. So you have to actually walk, and it averages how much you walk and what your gait is and how and those things that it said. It's about walking. It's not
Whoa.
about falling.
Well, I stumbled and fell. It wasn't like I, just did a swan dive or anything.
You're going
leave it
on like
on
a
and
dedicated walk. Like I go a dedicated walk for 20 minutes for a mile. So they average how that's doing compared to how you did before. And if it's changed, if you're now not as stable as you used to do, and then you might be prone to falling.
Jump in there, Jan.
Oh, in system settings, I don't see health. Where is that? Health notification. I see notifications, but there's no health.
Under notifications, then go to health under notifications.
It should be there.
Go to
This is
notifications.
only on the phone, Jan, only on the phone, not on the Mac.
The phone. Okay. Duh.
No, it applies to the Mac. It's all about the phone.
Well, I can see for me where it recorded the information. It just never reported it to me.
Did it go low?
It went very low. I fell and broke my foot.
Well, it doesn't measure. It's not about falling, though.
No. But after that, there was the
very trouble walking
gait because I had a broken foot.
Because it changed your gait because you're limping.
Yes, it recorded that, but it never reported anything to me.
I'm with you, Bill. I don't understand this.
Right. So this means if I'm curious, I have to keep watching the stats that it records. It's not going to tell me.
Yeah.
Well, if notifications are turned on in health,
and
it goes to low, then it should notify you.
But it didn't.
And you had notifications on?
It's been on all along.
So I usually look at my health app at least twice a day. I usually look at it when I wake up to see how my oxygen saturation was overnight. And I usually go in there to see, because I have my watch track my outdoor walks, and I usually go into health then to see how it registered.
The only thing I really was paying attention to in the health app for me was step counts. So these other things were just buried elsewhere. I never saw them, and I was never notified.
Right, it tracks how many steps you walked and how much elevation you climbed.
Right.
So there's an app there's a free app I got. Remember what it is when I was paying attention to that. So it's hard to read that step count and over time in the health app. But there was another one that read the same data. I think it was called Activity Monitor, where it graphed it better and it was easier to see your steps and go between days and stuff.
Yeah, Activity Monitor is the right place to look for that.
Is that an Apple thing, or did I get that separately?
No, it's a standard iPhone app.
Okay, okay, yeah. It reads the same data as in the health, but it's much easier to see what you're doing when you're exercising.
Right.
Scroll between days and compare days and graphs and stuff.
So
mine tells me, it bugs me if I haven't walked today. It says, oh, you can still do it, or I walk early in the morning. It goes, hey, great, you're above average for today. Keep up the good work, You can still do it, you have time.
I've been looking at the graph, and it looks like in the morning, I'm worse than I'm off at about noon. And then
what's your steadiness?
Yeah. And then it just steadies off, goes almost straight.
Yeah, maybe you loosen up, do a little
Maybe I'm still asleep. I've been known maybe sleepwalking or something like that.
Maybe it's measuring you staggering towards your coffee pot.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I knew there was a reason for it.
Oh, correction. By the way, it's not called the Activity app. It's called Fitness.
Don't
Okay,
you have
so
to
I,
pay?
There you go.
Isn't fitness a paid app? You have to pay. Isn't it a
No,
subscription?
it does a lot of stuff free.
It's the bullseye.
so I have an app called Activity Tracker. I think that was a third-party app. I think it was free.
Right. But
That basically
fitness,
reads your movement, how many calories, how many miles, how many, all these things over days. You can flip between days and it gives you graphs and stuff. It reads the same data out of the health app. It's easier to decipher. It's actually a free app called, I think it's Activity Tracker, all one word, looks like.
result in strength.
Okay, that was a lot of discussion about this real simple thing.
Yeah,
I've got one more thing to add to this, which is I see that Costco is now selling the Aura Ring, OURA, which is a health tracker that fits on your finger.
Yeah.
And if you buy it, it's not any cheaper through Costco, I don't think, than it is buying it direct from the manufacturer, but they give you an extra charger, I think. They give you a second charger. But the big thing is that these Aura Rings come with a 30-day return policy, and Costco, it's 90 days. So I'm actually thinking of trying one.
I love mine.
You have an Aura Ring?
I've had it for about almost 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it do do you also have an Apple Watch?
I don't have an Apple Watch, so I can't compare it to that.
I'm most interested in the oxygen tracking when I'm asleep.
It does do that. It does saturation and also the number and the times when you do have problems.
Okay.
But you do have to purchase basically the app for, I think it's like $5 a month, so that you get all the information and so you get the reports, which it's one thing to see a daily thing, but then they'll do a weekly report, monthly report, and a comparison what the best time is and what the worst time is, etc. So it keeps all the data.
Yeah. There are a lot of competitor rings that don't have subscriptions.
Yeah.
So, but it seems like the Aura is the one that has the most scientific data research on it.
Yeah. I have the improvements that they've made over the 2 years has been very great. And if you have a problem with the Aura Ring, they just sent me a new one because my battery was not recharging the ring enough. So they sent me it's a ring that was sent back for somebody that tried it and sent it back, but I didn't pay anything for it. So that was good customer service.
So the current one is Aura 4. Do you know which one you have?
I have an Aura 3.
Okay.
Jan had a question.
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask Kenji, or maybe somebody else has the answer. The Apple Health, if you have the watch, it gives you a report on, have you had any breathing disturbances in the last 7 days or something? I never have a breathing disturbance on that, but I supposedly have sleep apnea. So isn't there a correlation?
I've gotten an alert a couple of times for low respiratory rate while I was asleep.
The sleep apnea tracking is only on the very latest watch.
Oh.
Well, that's because they lost the O2 tracking. That's sort of a way to substitute something else.
Right.
I just use the data from my CPAP machine.
I don't have a CPAP machine.
Right. And my CPAP machine data is not shared with my health app.
That's unfortunate.
Was
Well,
that by choice?
it just seems to be an argument between the ResMed people and Apple.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried. That's why I was asking.
Right.
I think my CPAP stuff does show up in my health app. I have a ResMed.
Shall we move on to a new topic?
Yeah. Well, give them a second here.
Okay. All right, here we go. Next one. This is from Gary. How to rotate and flip photos on an iPhone.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let me show you how you can rotate and flip photos on your iPhone. Now, a common question iPhone users have is how do you rotate or flip a photo? So how you do that depends on where the photo is. Let's start off in the Photos app and say your photo is there. In that case, it's relatively simple. If you have a photo like this one, you can just go to that photo like that. And now to rotate it is pretty easy. You want to go down to the bottom to the controls here and tap. And this allows you to adjust the photo. Now, both the abilities to rotate and to flip the photo are in the crop tools. So you want to tap crop at the bottom. Now, if you look at the tools here to the upper left, you'll see the flip tool is first. Tap that and you can see you could flip the photo. Now, if you want to rotate, you have two different tools you can use depending on how much you want to rotate. This tool here will rotate 90 degrees to the left. You could just keep going 4 times, takes you right back to where you want it. If you want to rotate to the right, just use that 3 times and you get the equivalent. But if you want to rotate a smaller amount than 90 degrees, then you want to go down here and you have various tools here. Make sure the first one is selected. That's the straighten tool. Straightening and rotating are the same thing. So if you have the straighten tool turned on, you have this control here that you can grab and drag to the left or to the right. And notice when you do so, the photo will get larger or smaller to make sure that the cropping when you rotate will not break the border of the photo. So you can see how the corner there matches with the corner of the rectangle. So now you've rotated it, you tap done, and you're finished. The photo is now rotated in your photos collection. And if you go back to view it or to share it, you will have this rotated version of the photo. Note that the Photos app always does edits non-destructively, meaning that you can get back to the original at any time. So with this selected, I will go back to the editing tools like this, and you can see there's a revert button there, and I can revert back to the original anytime I want. So if I want to rotate it temporarily, export it or share it, I can, and then go back to have my original shown in my Photos app. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. So rotating and flipping in Photos is pretty straightforward. But what if the image is not in Photos? What if it's a file? So I'm going to go into the Files app here, and I've got a folder called Images. And let's say I want to rotate one of these. So let's go to this one here. So you can employ many different strategies to do this. As it turns out, one of the easiest ones is to actually import it into Photos and export it back out. It doesn't really take that many steps. So I'm going to tap down here below the photo to reveal all of the different buttons. Then I'm going to use the share button here, and I'm going to go down to Save Image. There are actually 2 very similar looking commands here, Save Image and Save to Files. Save Image is the one we want. It makes a copy of the image and puts it in your Photos library. So I'll use that. Now I'll go back to the home screen and then back into Photos. I can now search for the photo or look under Recents here and find that photo that's new in my Photos library. I can now go to the adjustment tools here, and I can choose crop, and I can rotate it as I like. I like doing it in Photos because you have this nice grid here that helps you align the horizon if that's your intention. And then I can tap done, and the image has been rotated. I can now tap share, and I see the same list of options here, but this time I want to look for the one called Save to Files. And this will save a copy back to my Files app. So I'll go back into Images here, and here's where the original one was. I'll tap Save, and now when I go back to Files, I will see in the list here the original, which was picture 7, but also this new version of it here where I can see it's been rotated. Back in the Photos app, I can simply delete this from my library here since I don't really need it there. I just wanted it to be a file. And of course, it's easy to flip the photo that way as well. But note that if you just want to rotate the photo 90 degrees, you can actually do it in the Files app. Tap and hold here, and it will bring up a menu. Go to Quick Actions, and you've got Rotate Right and Rotate Left. So you can use those to easily rotate it 90 degrees without having to go to any other app at all. Another thing you could do is use a third-party image editing app, and there are tons of them. I'll demonstrate with Pixelmator, which is now owned by Apple. I'm going to go to this picture here and tap and hold, and I'm going to copy it. There are many ways to get the image into Pixelmator. I'll just copy it like that, and see when I open it up here, it knows that there's an image on the clipboard, and I can allow the paste and have it in there. I could also tap here and then open up the file. So I can go now to this image here in Pixelmator, and as you can imagine, an app like Pixelmator has the ability to rotate an image. I could tap the paintbrush tool there, and then I could scroll down to crop tools, and in the crop tools I can crop it like normally. I can also use 2 fingers and rotate the image like that, and then apply. And now I can tap the share button there and export it and choose the format. I'll choose JPEG, quality, and original, and next. And then I can choose where to save it. In this case, of course, I want not to save the image to the Photos app, but to save to Files. And I can save it as yet another copy of this. Here you can see I've got the second one in there, rotated slightly differently than what I did before. Other apps may do it in different ways and may have more tools, like for instance a flip tool as well. Now if you really are determined to do this without any third-party app and you don't want to use the Photos app, there is a trick where you can do it just in the Files app. So I'm going to tap and hold the picture until I get the menu, and I'm going to copy it. Now I'm going to go into the picture like this, and I need to paste it in here. Now if you tap and hold, sometimes you'll get a menu there that has copy subject and a few other things including paste. But since there's no subject here, it won't do that. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on the markup tools at the bottom, I'm going to tap the plus button there, add a shape, and I'm going to add just any shape, a circle. And now that I've added the circle, I've got this menu here with the 3 dots. I will tap that and choose paste. And I'm going to allow the paste, and it's going to paste in that image. I'm going to move it aside and select the circle here and then delete it. Now I'm going to tap to select this, and I'm going to enlarge it quite a bit by dragging the dots. I need to enlarge it a lot because when I rotate it, I need to fill the space. So with it enlarged like that, I'm going to use 2 fingers and rotate it. It's kind of tricky to do it. It might take a few attempts to try to get it to rotate with 2 fingers. But once you do, you can rotate it and then drag it into position. Make sure that the corners here don't have any extra bleed through of the image underneath it. And now you're done. But there's an issue. If you go back to the picture here and then you go back to the markup tools, you'll notice that you still have 2 layers here like that. It's probably not what you want. So what you want to do here is back here in Files, you want to tap and hold and then select under Quick Actions the Convert Image function. And then choose a format. I'll choose JPEG. I'll make it original size, and I will export a version of that. And you can see here that this size is much smaller than this size because this one now contains 2 layers of the same image. So there are a few different methods for how to rotate an image that starts off as a file. For practical use, probably the best way to do it is just to bring it into the Photos app, even if you just do it to export it back out and then remove it from Photos afterwards. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
think you muted, Rick.
Anybody use Pixelmeter at all? It's owned by Apple now.
What is?
Pixelmeter, an image
it
editing
is?
competitor to Photoshop.
Oh.
Apple bought it.
Oh,
Pixelmeter?
Meter.
Pixelmeter.
Is it meter? Really?
No, it's Pixelmeter.
They just recently added AI stuff to it. So they updated it. So they're working on it. It's speculation what they're going to do with it. They're apparently not going to modify it a lot. They're going to keep it. Might be incorporated into iWork at some point. Who knows?
Supposed to be a real involved tool.
Well, it's a Photoshop competitor.
Yeah. On a smaller scale, correct. But yeah.
they used to have Aperture. That was so good, I thought.
Well, Aperture was not a photo editor per se. The Aperture was a competitor to Lightroom for editing, keeping a catalog and doing bulk edits to your photos, but not,
Here's why I miss.
GIMP that's a free program, right? That's open source. That's a competitor also. There's lots of Photoshop competitors now. There's Affinity Photo, there's Luminar, there's a whole bunch of them.
Well, maybe that's why they got rid of Aperture. They knew they were going to do this.
No, Aperture was not a competitor to Aperture was not a photo editor. It was a catalog thing, like Lightroom. Lightroom is not Photoshop, even though it can do, bulk editing of photos, but not pixel level stuff usually. Photoshop and Lightroom are Adobe products. They're two different things, although they usually sell them as a package because they work. You edit, you catalog them in Lightroom and do bulk, stuff to them. And then when you want to edit them, it opens them in Photoshop, and you save it, and then it's in your catalog, where the Photos app kind of does it all in one. The editing is done all in one. You can choose in the Photos app, you can choose to have it open in Photoshop and do your editing, or Pixelmeter, or whatever you want to be your editor instead of the Photos app. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Yes. One thing, the program that my wife and sister-in-law use is called Acorn.
Yeah, I remember that name.
It actually has a lot of what people like in simpler versions of Photoshop.
Photoshop is pretty intense.
Yep.
You can do a lot of stuff, but I use Photoshop, an older version, and I don't use a tenth of what's in there. But what I do, I know how to use, and I use it, and I like it.
Right.
Do you know of one that's similar to the Photoshop Elements, which was the simplified?
Elements is a cheap version of Photoshop. Yeah. The main thing is it doesn't do CMYK.
Right.
Translate.
If you have to ask what is CMYK, then you don't need it.
Okay.
It's for 4-color processing for print, for magazine. Yeah. If you do online stuff that's RGB, then you don't need it. So people who do work for money to print need CMYK to send their stuff to the printer. So they need to pay the big bucks for Photoshop. Can't do it in Elements. That's the main thing.
And many people find GIMP too steep a learning curve. It does things differently.
Right. It's simplified for Elements to do. Elements actually has, like, they used to call them recipes. So it has like macro-like things. You choose something and it does a bunch of processes, which in Photoshop you used to have to like do one step at a time with granular adjustments, and you had to know what the heck you were doing. like the Photos app, when you edit, they put more and more editing tools into the Photos app. It's pretty good now. Okay, shall we move on with this one? It's another shorty from Apple. That's 5 minutes long for Apple. There we go.
If you can't remember your Mac login password, you can reset it. We'll teach you how to reset your login password using your Apple account, and then we'll show you how to reset it using the Recovery Assistant in macOS Recovery. Before you start, it's a good idea to restart your Mac and try to log in again. Also, your login password is case sensitive, so be sure to check for the caps lock symbol in the password field. Finally, if you've tried your password too many times, your account might be temporarily locked. If so, there will be a message below the password field that includes the amount of time you need to wait before you can try to log in again. If you still can't log in and have File Vault enabled, we'll teach you how to reset your password using your Apple account. In the login window, you should try your password multiple times and click the question mark button to the right of the password field to check for a hint if you originally set one up. We tried these steps, but still can't log in. To begin resetting your password, click the question mark button again. Now, click the reset message that appears above the password field. If it doesn't appear, you might need to try entering your password a few more times. Once you click the message, your Mac will restart. This might take a moment. Next, enter your Apple account email in the Recovery Assistant and click Next. Then, enter your Apple account password. Click Next and type in the verification code sent to your phone number or a trusted device. Select the user you want to reset the password for and click Next. Now, type in a new password that you'd like to use to log into your Mac. Remember, your password is case sensitive. Then, enter the password again into the Verify Password field. Optionally, you can enter a hint to help you remember your new password in case you forget it. Click Next when you're done. And then click Restart. Your Mac will restart to the login window. You can log in with your new password and you're good to go. You can also reset your Mac login password by using the Recovery Assistant in macOS Recovery. Recovery is the built-in tool your Mac uses to make changes to your startup disk. Depending on the type of Mac you have, the way you start up in Recovery is different. If you're using a Mac with Apple Silicon, you'll start up by holding the power button and then choosing Options. If you're using an Intel-based Mac, you'll start up while holding Command-R on your keyboard. Once you're in macOS Recovery, click the Utilities menu at the top of your screen and then choose Terminal. In the Terminal window, type Reset Password with no spaces directly after the short text that appears. Then, press the Return key on your keyboard. This opens the Recovery Assistant. Next, click Deactivate Mac. And click Deactivate to confirm. This is temporary and does not remove or affect your data. Now, type in a new password that you'd like to use to log into your Mac. Remember, your password is case sensitive. Then, enter the password again into the Verify Password field. Optionally, you can enter a hint to help you remember your new password in case you forget it. Click Next, and your password is now reset. Click Exit. Select the Apple menu in the upper left corner of your screen and choose Restart from the menu. Your Mac will restart to the login window. Just log in with your new password and you're all done. Now you can keep using your Mac. Problem solved. Some sequences in this video were shortened.
Alrighty, so one thing you got to know is if you choose the second procedure in recovery mode is the last resort because you will lose your keychain. The keychain will only unlock, because anybody could start up in recovery mode and change the password and get into your keychain. So that's not, you will lose all your saved passwords. I believe if you do it in the first method, you're required to log into you need to know your Apple ID password, and you have to have two-factor turned on to your phone so they can send you a code. That code that authorizes that you are the owner, and if you reset it that way, I believe it does save your keychain password, but I'm not absolutely certain about that, but that's what I presume. I know definitely if you reset it with terminal, your keychain is gone, all your saved passwords. I know because I warn people about that all the time. That's the last resort.
Well, John, that's not, or is that true about the passwords app that's in the Mac? You would lose, I mean,
Yes.
it's normally the keychains. That's the new keychains.
All your passwords, even going back to the very first keychain, is where that's all stored.
Right.
It was originally in the keychain, only available in the keychain access and the utilities. Then they put access in Safari passwords, and then they made a passwords app. It all reads the same data in the keychain. So yeah, your passwords are safe. I mean, nobody can, if somebody steals your Mac and it doesn't have File Vault and it doesn't have Find My, so they can start up in recovery, go to terminal, reset your password. They have access to all your documents and everything on your computer, but not your keychain.
One thing, if I can interrupt, you can export your keychain and
Yes.
all your passwords, certificates, and other information from your keychain if you export before you do that. Before you reset everything.
Before you lose your password to the keychain.
Right. Before you decide, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The password app is just a GUI.
Right, to the keychain. It's a nice, easy way they finally made so you can view the keychain. And the passwords app does not show you all the contents of the keychain. There's stuff in there that it doesn't show up in the passwords app.
What you could do is periodically export it to a CSV file and store it just for safety.
Rick, I thought you were in Nevada.
I am. I just got here. And I'm too tired to go down and do anything, so I'm resting and watching you guys.
I was wondering, I thought, boy, someone's feeding us wrong information. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm in Minden. We just got here a few minutes ago.
How hot was it?
Oh, it's nice. It's about 78, 79.
You got to say hi to my ex-neighbor Byron. He lives there, Minden.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a problem people have going back, way back. Just happened the other day. People have their password login saved. So when you start your Mac, if you don't have to type your password to log in, it just starts. And they say, well, I don't know my password. I don't have a password. Yes, you do. Every Mac has a password. You can't not have a password. But if it logs in automatically and you do that over a long period of time, you will forget what your password is because you never have to type it. So I recommend that you turn that off. So every time you restart your Mac, you have to type your password. That'll help you remember that there is one and what it is.
Well, I've got one of those.
running that all the time. I don't have a password. I don't type a password to start my computer. Yes, you do have one. So it helps to put a hint in there too, a hint that will remind you, jog your memory. If I say dog and that's your name of your dog, not that that's a good password to have, you say, oh yeah, it's my dog, and you type, so it jars your memory. If you type the password wrong 3 times, it will say hint, or there's a question mark in the newer ones to tap to get the hint.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a laptop with that little fingerprint access. At least once a week, it asks me for my password. Still.
And if you restart the computer, it will ask you for your password. It will not take the fingerprint reader on a restart.
Yeah.
Same with your phone. When you restart your phone, it won't take Touch ID. It won't take Face ID. You have to type the password.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. And they hide that. It used to be in older Macs, when you went into Command R recovery mode, it had a menu item, reset password, but they want to hide it. So you don't see that. You have to actually go to terminal and you have to know what to type.
Yeah, you got to type in.
If you forget, just ask Google and they'll tell you how you do it. Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah.
There we go. Another short one. There we go. How to change your Apple account primary email address on your phone or your iPad. Some people use an old email address that they don't have anymore. They drop us down, or they get rid of Comcast and they want to change it. So sometimes you want to use a current email address that you have access to.
If you're no longer using the primary email address associated with your Apple account, you can change it on your iPhone or iPad. Here's how. In Settings, tap your name. Tap Sign In and Security. Then tap your current primary email address. If you want to keep your current email address associated with your Apple account but change to a different primary email address, turn off Primary Email and follow the prompts. If you no longer use this email address and want to remove it from your account, tap Remove from Account. If your only email address associated with your account is an iCloud email address, you won't see the option to Remove from Account. Instead, you'll see an option to Change Email Address. Then tap Remove from Account again to confirm. Enter your iPhone passcode and follow the prompts to add a new primary email address. And that's how you change your Apple account primary email address on your iPhone or iPad. You can change your iCloud email address on iPhone with iOS 18.1 or later and iPad with iPadOS 18.1 or later.
It's good to keep your email on your phone number current in your Apple account, because we had an issue with a member, longtime member, passed away, didn't have, home phone was disconnected, so that was the 2-factor, and didn't know the recovery address was a Gmail, but Gmail to log into that required 2-factor, so you couldn't get into the thing. It was activation locked. It was a brick. And it was going to require a court order to get into it, and blah, blah, blah. And finally, we were able to restore from a time machine back up onto a different machine, and luckily find the document that was saved that had the login information, including the security questions we were able to answer correctly and turn off Find My and got it back. But it was touch and go. You want to keep that stuff current.
We remember we had a presentation by Joe Kissel about his Take Control book on that whole subject.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great if you can, give your information, your password file, and your account logins to your, the person who's in charge of your, being in charge of your estate so they can get in and take care of your business and stuff. Otherwise, then it's a whole rigmarole going through the court and whatever to deal with stuff. And you can pay the bills, and close the accounts, do whatever you need to do. Just like, don't tell them that they passed away until you take care of business, because it can get messy and much more difficult. So there you go.
There's a place to put in something about legacy contacts.
You can do that too.
And that would be another good video if you could find it.
Yeah, I'm sure there is one somewhere. And that doesn't apply to just your Apple accounts, your Gmail account, any of your email addresses that you use to log into other sites. You need the person who's going to take over and take care of your business needs to know how to get into those things. Or else, they said they want you to go to log into here, and they say, okay, we'll send you a code to your Comcast. I can't get into my contract. I can't. What do? You pretty much, people who are not passed away or actually forget stuff, and they do that, and then you can't get in to your old account because you don't have it anymore, and it's like you get stuck. So I've had people have to just abandon their accounts. They can't get in. It's hopeless.
Yes, yesterday I was trying to clean up a couple of my parents' Apple accounts, and I couldn't get it pointing to anything current, and both of them wound up locked.
Right, exactly. That happens.
Yes, and it looks like you can't use the same phone number for two different Apple accounts.
Yeah.
You used to be able to. They changed that.
Yeah. Well, they lock things down more and more. Well, yeah, it's good to keep things current and up to date and validated and everything, so you can get in and take care of stuff. Makes it much easier. Okay. Questions? Comments? And you can set your two-factor phone number to be your home phone, and most places will automated voice will call the number and speak the code to you, but it's much better to have it go to a mobile phone because it sends you something you can see and copy and paste and stuff rather. But you can voice it to your phone, to your landline, but then don't turn off your landline unless you change it to a different number. A lot of people abandon mine. We don't have a landline here. I abandoned mine. My sister abandoned hers. Nope. Lots of people, 80% of the people or something, don't have landlines anymore. Too expensive. Okay, shall we move on?
John, did you say don't abandon your landline?
Don't abandon your landline if you have it set up as your two-factor number.
Authentication.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
This person didn't have an iPhone, so they have their landline as their two-factor number. So that's a problem. So, okay. Or alternately, you can turn off two-factor, but you have to go through some hoops to do that. Once it's on, it's not as easy to turn it off as it was to turn it on. Then you don't have to get a code to do things. But that's pretty much a requirement for anything that's you want to be secure that people can get into any email account. You got to have two-factor on these days. Okay, we'll move on. Next, there's one from Ellen. This is different for Ellen. This is like a fix-it diagnostic thing, how to help. There we go.
Hi, everyone. It's Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS. Have you ever picked up your iPhone and found it just won't respond? Maybe the screen is stuck on one picture, or you can't swipe or press any buttons at all. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're definitely not alone. A frozen iPhone can happen to anyone, and today I'll show you 3 simple things you can do to fix it yourself. You don't have to be techie, just follow along and I'll walk you through every step nice and slow. Let's get started. Before we dive in, let's talk about why your iPhone might freeze up. Sometimes it's just working too hard, maybe too many apps are open, or it needs an update. Other times it could be a software glitch or even just a very low battery. Don't worry, it doesn't usually mean your phone is broken. If you've ever worried you did something wrong, trust me, you didn't. Technology gets a bit stubborn for all of us. The very first thing to try is called a force restart or force reset. This is just a special way of rebooting your iPhone when the normal off function doesn't work for you. So here's how you're going to do it. I'm going to demonstrate this on my iPhone 15 Pro, but this will work on any iPhone 8 or newer and the iPhone SE second or third generation. What we're going to do is quickly press the volume up button, quickly press the volume down button, and then we're going to push and hold the side button. So quick press volume up, quick press volume down, push and hold on the side button on the right side. The phone will eventually turn black. Just keep holding that side button. Once it turns black, you're going to wait for the iPhone or Apple logo to appear. Then you can release the side button. It'll take maybe 15 seconds for the phone to boot up. Once the phone boots up, you're going to want to enter in your passcode to open up the phone because Face ID on a reboot like this won't work. So here we are on the lock screen. I'm going to swipe up. I'm going to enter in my passcode. Once I do that, I'm back into the iPhone. Hopefully this fixes your issue. Play around with it for a little while to see if it does. One thing I want to note is that by doing this force restart, you don't lose any of your apps. So it won't erase any photos, contacts, or apps. It just helps your iPhone wake up again. Sometimes a frozen iPhone is just a sign that the battery is extremely low, even if it doesn't look that way. Here's what to do. Make sure you're using an Apple-approved charging cable and plug. Plug your iPhone into the charger and make sure it's getting power. Look for the battery symbol in the upper right corner of the phone. Let it charge for at least 15 to 30 minutes. Sometimes a dead battery needs a few extra minutes before it wakes up. If you don't see anything on the screen, if the screen is black after you've charged it for a while, try the force restart again while you're plugged in to the charger. If you've tried both steps above and your iPhone is still stuck, don't give up. There's one more thing you can try at home. Connect your iPhone to a computer. If you have a Mac, open Finder. If you have a Windows PC, open iTunes. Plug your iPhone in with a charging cable. Open Finder, which on a Mac, which is what I have, will be located in the dock at the bottom on the left-hand side. Open Finder. You should see your device on the left-hand side. I'm going to open my iPhone 15 Pro. Once I do, you'll see the options to check for an update or restore iPhone. Choose Update first. This can often fix a frozen screen by updating the software. No photos or apps are lost. If Update doesn't work, Restore will reset the iPhone to factory settings. So only use that if you have a backup in iCloud or as a last resort. If you're not comfortable doing this alone, it's perfectly okay to ask a family member or friend for help. If none of these steps work, don't worry, it's time to call in the experts. Apple support can walk you through more solutions or check if there's a bigger hardware issue. You can also visit an Apple store or local tech helper you trust. Remember, you haven't done anything wrong. Technology is tricky and sometimes it just needs a little professional help. Let's review the 3 steps. Try a force restart. Plug in and check your charger and cable and be sure your iPhone is charging. Connect to a computer for an update or restore if necessary. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more iPhone tips designed just for seniors. And if you have another problem with your iPhone, let me know in the comments. I'd love to help or make a new video just for you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd go call Apple or go down and make an appointment before I'd hit, factory reset and lose everything.
Factory reset, that's to erase it and start over.
Yeah, that's the kiss of death. I don't know. Yeah. I have my restart thing. Instead of pressing this button, that button, I have an assistive touch button where I just hold it down and it says, you want to reset? And I go, yeah, and it just goes, it does the whole thing from there.
You can go to settings general and go to the bottom. It says restart.
Yeah.
You have to remember the buttons.
I use my assistive touch for that and taking screenshots and other stuff. So it works out easier for me. Vinny, no.
Okay. Comments, questions? We got some more little short videos if you want to watch some more, or you want to go to general Q&A. Keep going. I think the rest of them are really
wait, I got one thing about the video, how she just demonstrated how to restart the up volume, down volume, side button.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You just hold the up volume and the start button at the same time until you see the Apple logo and let go, slide over, and
no, actually that doesn't reset. That only shuts down. It does not reset.
Oh, she was talking about reset. Okay.
She also kept holding it. She never swiped the button to slide.
Yeah.
You just kept holding it.
No, you don't have to.
Right.
You don't touch that. You just hold the side button.
Or ultimately you can slide it if it's not frozen and you really want to just shut it down.
Yeah, but that's not a hard reset.
Right.
Okay, I get it. There was a reset. It wasn't a shutdown. Okay.
I don't know. It says the same thing. Slide the power off. I don't know.
No, that's just a shutdown.
Yeah.
Let's
just turn it off. I get it.
Sometimes you can just let your phone cool off. I know if mine's sitting on my console and I'm out and around, sometimes it just gets hot.
Oh, I've done that. It's hot and it's laying on the seat and I'm listening to the direction. The sun's beating on the seat. I'm not paying attention. The thing like shuts down because it's overheated.
Yeah.
It's a warning thing. I can't remember what it says on the screen, but it says, oh. So I pick it up and hold it up and turn the air conditioner on full blast and hold it up to the vent and blow on it for a minute or two and it cools down. Yeah, that hasn't happened to me in a while. Okay, shall we move on to another one? See what's next. I think there's a few short.
John, you have about, it's 4:20. Maybe.
Yeah, I know. That's what I meant. So you want to get
maybe the quick Q&A should get started.
Yeah, we can. Let's see. There's a couple really short ones. We can wait for those next week. We can go to Q&A if you want. We've used up quite a bit of time.
I'll vote for Q&A.
All right, we'll do that. So let me go to the end here. Okay, so we're going to stop this recording and start a new one for Q&A. If people are watching this on YouTube, DVMUG members can find the Q&A recording with a link on the BBS, which none of you ever do, but that's just so you know.
And the rest of all you can join our club. and
You're
get
watching on
incredible
Tube,
access.
if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not a DVMUG member and you would like to join these meetings and ask Q&A in public, go to dvmug.org. Find out more about it. Okay. Oh, stop the recording.